let us know, or we can send it around to everybody. But we are recording, so just be aware of that. And again, I have everybody muted just so that we have the best experience possible and there's no background noise. And also try to keep your camera off at the end when we have time for questions. We can have you turn that on so that it's like we're face to face having an in-person meeting. But so yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Again, if you have questions throughout any of this, feel free to chat them in the chat box. So if you hover, it might be at the top of your page now since I'm sharing my screen. If you hover over the top of your page or at the bottom, there is an option that says chat. And if you click on that, it'll open up the chat box. So you can type questions in there and then we'll answer them at the end. So we are going to save questions to the end so we can get through this and answer any questions people may have and let you go on with the rest of your night. So to go ahead and get started, we'll introduce ourselves. My name is Kylie Gottschalk, and I am the admissions counselor at Simpson.
And I am Tracy Dinesen. I am Associate Dean of Academic Affairs and a Spanish professor. Been at Simpson for 15 years, so I hope I can answer your questions.
I have been at Simpson since October, so
we've got it.
Not enough time, but I love it and I love working with our students. So really happy to have you all here tonight and hope you enjoy this newer format that we're trying out. So to start, I am going to show a video here. And if it's not working, type in the chat box so that I know if you can hear it or not. All right. Hope that worked for everyone. I think it did. We'll go ahead and get back to the presentation then. Let me get out of this. All right, so for our agenda tonight, I'll be giving some general information on just, oh, somebody have a question?
Oh, shoot.
It's okay. Remember to mute yourselves. I'll mute everybody again. Perfect. Okay. And Tracy will just unmute herself when it's her time to talk. But so for our agenda, we're going to go over some general admissions information. I'll be giving just some general info on Simpson and some next steps to take in the admissions process. And then Tracy will go over academic advising and SOAR, which is our orientation. And then we'll leave time at the end for question and answer. So just some general information about Simpson. A lot of you may have visited campus already, met with your admissions counselor. Some of you may have not. Hopefully you've talked about, financial aid with your counselor. But just to give a brief overview of Simpson, we have about 80 majors and minors and pre-professional programs. Student to faculty ratio is around 15:1. And 99% of our graduates, 6 months after graduation, were employed or in graduate school. So very high success rate after graduating from Simpson. And about 1,300 full-time students, and 100% of our students receive financial assistance at Simpson. So we have excellent internship programs, a great career development office that helps students find internships, find job shadow opportunities, and helps them with resumes, cover letters, all that kind of stuff. So in addition to a rigorous academic course load, you also have opportunities on campus to get that real hands-on work experience. All right, so some next steps in the admissions process. Talk to your counselor about your financial aid notice. You should have received that in the mail and talk to your counselor about it. But if you haven't, or if you've kind of been still deciding on what you want to do, talk to your counselor. I'm sure you've been receiving a lot of emails, calls, and texts from us. So we'll be doing that via Zoom like this, since we can't meet in person. And if you prefer doing that instead of talking over the phone, we can meet with you through video conferencing like this, one-on-one. So reach out to your counselor and let us know, when a good time is to meet, and we can talk through everything from, student loans, all the scholarships you're receiving, any grants if you've received them, if you're eligible for work study, your payback options, all that kind of stuff. So reach out to us and we can go through that. And then also the next step after that would be to pay your deposit. So the $200 refundable deposit we have due on May 1st. So that secures your place in class. And so once you pay that deposit, you'll receive access to the online student portal to start the housing application and receive more information about signing up for SOAR. So signing up for orientation, and those dates are in June, and we'll have Tracy talk about that in a little bit. But once you pay that deposit, that kind of puts you on the path for next steps in regards to housing and residence life and orientation. And then you can also sign up for the rest of our Explore Simpson series, the rest of our virtual visits. So due to everything happening globally with COVID-19, we are pushing all of our events online to make sure that everybody can access them and get all the information they need in a timely way. So I'll show in just a second all the ones we have planned so far. We'll have registration links coming soon, but they will cover topics like residence life and housing, honors program, campus life, student activities, etc. So these are the dates we have planned out for that. So we have our honors program, undergraduate research, residence life and housing, campus life, student activities, and student resources. So we'll have links and emails going out about these soon, but just stay on the lookout for more information on those, and we will continue reaching out to you all virtually via Zoom. And then lastly, follow us on social media to receive updates and important information about the new virtual events and just college updates in general. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the places. So follow us on all those social media platforms to stay up to date on everything we're doing. All right, and then now I will pass it over to Tracy to talk about academic advising and SOAR.
All right, very good. So a couple of things I want to let you know. SOAR is what we were calling our academic orientation, and where you're going to be doing the registration piece for creating your schedule and getting to know the community. So we call it SOAR. What you'll see is that when we're talking about when this happens in June. So you want to go to the next one, Kylie? There we go. All right. So SOAR this year, we had an April date. We've gone ahead and canceled that because of COVID-19, but SOAR this year we're going to have on June 11th, 12th, 15th, and 16th. We are holding the 16th in case we need it, but right now we're filling up 11th, 12th, and 15th. So you know that once you submit your $200 deposit, you'll get your login page, you'll have a welcome page and what we call SC Connect, and right there you're going to fill out a SOAR form. What this is you're going to be choosing your SC 101, which is our first year course. And when you're choosing that information, you're going to give a whole list of which ones you like, and in order. You're going to let us know also, if you're involved in athletics, if you're involved in speech and debate, if you want to be involved in the performing arts, some additional information. And all of that information actually comes to me. And I will go through and make the best guess that I can based on all the information I have on you from your admissions counselors, from this form, and as well as availability to ensure that you get exactly what is the best fit for you. So what I know about each one of these instructors, they choose to do this. They are amazing at it. They really are worried about your transition to college. And so I want to make sure that that's a positive experience for you. So SOAR is all about making sure that we focus on answering all of your most important questions before move-in. It's all about building connections, putting faces to names. We'll be sending you lots of emails, but this will again give you a way to make those connections and also create networks with people who are going to be a part of your course and part of your cohort, so that you can start having conversations with them all summer. So it really is kind of the start of the kickoff. So when we're talking about advising, there are a couple of elements of advising, and what we're focusing on tonight is academic advising in your first year. That is different than having a major advisor, okay? So when we're talking about academic advising in your first year, this is your SC 101 instructor, and they have a very specific job. So when we're talking about this, your SC 101 instructor will be your assigned advisor throughout your first year. The whole goal of becoming a Simpson College student and coming in undeclared is for you to be able to start thinking about your own strengths, talents, interests, exploring those before you have to make any kind of a decision. This person is going to be there to encourage you to explore various academic areas, to help you get involved in different events on campus, to help kind of explore your interests. And they really are going to be a primary contact for you and a mentor in your first year at Simpson College. They're not your only one. In this course, you'll also have what we call an SC leader, and they will be there in class and will be there at orientation during SOAR, so that you'll actually get to meet them and start having great conversations. And you'll also have a writing fellow who will be there to help with some academics, and in particular in essay writing and learning how to write and think like a college student. So this is all definitely step by step. This is a big transition. You know, you had a transition when you're going to high school. You're going to go through an even bigger one as you go to college. And so this course is specifically focused on big topics, but making sure that you have all the tools and the skills that you need through that transition. Okay. So before SOAR, your advisor is getting ready. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to get after that, we're going to say, yes, this is great. We've got all your information. Here is your SC 101 class. Here's the date. And then we're going to be actually sending you what's called a pre-SOAR survey. This is all about what is your academic preparation? How many years of English have you had, and math, and lab sciences? What are you interested in? What do you love that you're taking this year? What's something that you're involved with that maybe we don't know? What's something that you're nervous about taking? I think that these are important things for your advisor to know. We're going to take that information plus all the information that we have that just lives in our system. So things like where you're from, your high school, what things you might be interested in, and then we also have your admissions counselor information in there as well. So we'll probably talk to your admissions counselor and say, tell me about this student. The entire idea is to get all the information that we can, so we know you a little bit before you even show up. And so that we can start thinking about what would be a good fit for you when we're thinking about schedule, and then possible connections that we can help you make within other people within the course, but also our other advisees and other people who are on campus. Those connections are really important. So that will be part of the work of your advisor. So this is why when we ask you to do things, please get those things done. They're providing us some pretty vital information. So all right, so during SOAR, you're going to meet with faculty in all of your interest areas. So yes, you have an SC 101 advisor. Say you had me, I'm a Spanish professor, and you're like, I never want to take Spanish again. That doesn't mean that I'm going to force you to, or now suddenly you're going to be a Spanish major. These are completely independent of what you're going to major in or what you decided that you're going to study in college. My role as an SC 101 advisor would be to be there for you and to help you through this transition as you explore different areas of interest. So we want to make sure that if you're interested in an area, you get to talk to the faculty. So that's one of the things that we actually do. We actually give you a guide to say, okay, here are things that you're interested in. You have time to go and talk to professors and kind of come up with a plan of what is it like studying this. And if I were going to take this as a possible interest and major, or I'm really interested in doing X, what's the first class I should take? So you're going to be having some of those conversations. You're going to get to know your advisor, your SC leader, and you're also going to get to know the 4 other members who are of your class that are going to be attending that day. So it's done in groups of 5, which is a great group level so that you can actually kind of create some bonding, and you're going to get into the group me and start adding people day by day. Okay, you'll learn more about the different supports and programs that we have on campus. We want to make sure that you are coming in being aware that we are all interested in your success, and we want to make sure that you have all the tools at your disposal that you need in order to be successful. We'll probably be pushing tools at you even if you're not thinking you need them. It's always be better from our experience to be proactive better than reactive. The other piece of this, and the very way that you'll end this day, will be creation of your schedule in conjunction with your advisor. This is not done by yourself. This is not done. Your advisor's not going to hand you a schedule. You guys are going to actually have some collaboration and discussion about that, which is why that pre-SOAR survey is pretty important. So when you're making the schedule, what does this look like? All right, so bring a list of areas of interest with you. You know, we're asking you about things like, what are you interested in doing for a career interest? I've seen some amazing things. I want to be a forensic accountant. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to do art therapy. I've seen a wide variety of interests of possible future careers. An AI manager, who knew that people want to actually manage all of these robots? So I think that there's all kinds of additional things you could look at. The next thing to think about is bringing a list of interests with you, and then your advisor is also going to have some suggestions for you. Okay, so this is really about making all of those puzzle pieces fit. What are your interests, and what do those interests look like, right? So I picked the puzzle. Okay, this is not the only communication that you're going to have. Okay, at the end of July, you're also going to get information. That's an activity we're going to ask you to do about what it's like being a Simpson College student. Okay. Then in August, I'm going to send you what's called a college student inventory. This is completely all about you. Okay. So the great thing about this college student inventory is it's going to ask you, how many hours do you think you're going to study? How many hours do you think you're going to need to work? What are your habits? Did you read every book when you were in high school or not? Were you what I affectionately call an A/B slider, so you could kind of do your work at school but didn't have to do a lot of studying outside? This is going to give you a complete guide that's designed just for you on what resources and connections you need to make in order to be successful from day one. Okay, so this report, once you're done with it, you're going to have it, and your SC 101 advisor is going to have it, and you will get together and talk about them so that we can make sure that you're getting some of those resources and that you're using those early. Okay, and also in mid-August, right before you move in, you're going to get some lessons from other students about what it's like to transition to Simpson College and what are some of the humps or the hurdles that they had to overcome. So we know that at some point in time, you're going to face a wall. So what are some of the walls that these students faced, and then how did they overcome those things? Because building those, that kind of grit and understanding that experience is really important. And it's also to give you an idea of that mindset of, you know, it's not always going to be easy, but at Simpson, it's definitely going to be worth it. Okay. So these are the big things that I have for you. Okay. A lot of this is, you know, the idea of personal attention, the idea of ensuring that, you know, we're interested in you as a person and helping you meet your own goals. And that's why when Kylie was talking about we have this 99% placement rate 6 months after graduation, that's why. It's all individualized experiences, and we're pushing you in order to learn new things, but we really want to get to know you as a person. And so that's a large piece of it. So I think we're open for questions.
Yeah, feel free to type them in the chat box. If you want to ask it over the audio, feel free to do that as well. I'm not sure, you might all have the option to raise your hand. I know some people do and some people don't. It should be kind of in between the chat box and everything to raise your hand, and I can see that on here, and I can unmute you. Otherwise, you should be able to press the space bar to unmute yourself. So you can hold it down and you'll be able to talk, and then when you release it, it'll mute yourself again. So type them in the chat box or unmute yourself and feel free to ask away. In regards to advising, academic advising, SOAR, just admissions in general, financial aid, any questions you all have, you can ask away. You get to choose your SC 101 class, correct? Trey asked that.
Yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to submit 4 classes that are interest to you. So you're going to put them in order. Okay, then what I'm going to look at is how many people are already registered for that day. What do we already know about you? What do I know about the advisor, and what about that class? And I'm going to pick, I always try and do the first one. That's not always possible, but you're going to get one of your choices to make sure that you are getting something that you're interested in. That's also why it's important you fill out your form for SOAR and not have somebody else do it for you. So yeah, lessons learned.
And Tracy, can you explain some of the topics of the SE 101 topics or SOAR themes?
Sure. So one of the most popular ones this year is all about couch surfing your way to financial freedom, which is all about understanding finance and how you can be involved in investment even when you are a broke college student. Then the other thing that we, another option is about how do you find your identity through art? So looking at the different ways that people express themselves through art. There is a course that's called Hop on Pop, which is all the lessons we learn about being responsible adults through children's literature, and some of those things that wind up being transformative experiences for you. So that's just some of the topics. My personal favorite would be the one that's about Joss Whedon. I'm a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. So there's a course that's all about Joss Whedon and how he creates a new universe, and then how it's still relevant today. So that's part of that. I did see what if we were signed up for that April SOAR date? Your admissions counselor is going to be reaching out to you, and then all that information gets funneled back to me. So I'll be changing your date in order to make sure that that happens. We're trying to put you into the 11th, 12th, or the 15th. If that doesn't work, then we're also talking about the 16th as an option. And then we're also looking at doing S5 or remote individual appointments for you. Our goal, and hopefully COVID-19 will not derail this, but our hope is that if you're in the state of Iowa, we'll be able to work something out so that you can have some real personal interactions. If you are out of state, I think that we're going to wind up doing some Zoom and some of those types of things. I think it'll just depend on what happens in July and August. So.
Yeah, and thanks Trey, he put the link to all the SC 101 options in the chat, so feel free to click that link and look at those, at all the other additional options. And then someone asked, what are the times for SOAR events in June? Like maybe the start time and end time, or how long they'll be on campus, or?
Sure. So the SOAR time, the start time depends on if you're an athlete or also if you need to take a music theory exam. So if you are an athlete in any way, or if you need to take a music theory exam because you're going to be a performance major or you're going to be an instrumentalist on campus, then you will need to report at 8 o'clock in the morning. We promise we feed you breakfast. That's going to be really important. We want to make sure that you have fuel to kind of get through your day. Otherwise, check-in will be from about 8:40, and then things will start around 9 o'clock. We have a guest schedule, and then we also have a student schedule. So you're going to need different information during that day, and you're going to be interested in different things. This is going to help you kind of divide and conquer. Generally, your day is going to end right around 3 or 3:30, and it ends with an ice cream social, which by the end of the day, I think that I always need ice cream as well. So a little bit of sugar.
All right, and then we have a question. How do we apply for housing in SC 101?
So all of those applications are going to be in your SC Connect portal in the welcome page. Housing, there's a form. It went live in February, so you'll see that there once you pay your deposit and get all your login information. The SOAR form is there also on your welcome page, so it's one of those bright yellow links on the left-hand side of that welcome page, and those will eventually disappear once we have all that information. So there'll be more information about housing to come in a later session, but I know there's some really great things that happen in trying to find roommates and all of those types of coordination as well. So.
Awesome, thank you. Any other questions? I know some people are joining by phone. So I believe, is it *6 to unmute yourself on the phone? I don't remember, but if you're on the phone and you'd like to say something, feel free to. If you don't have the opportunity to type in the chat box if you didn't join on a computer. So, okay, I've confirmed it is *6 to unmute yourself on the phone. Any other questions? As always, you can reach out to your admissions counselor by calling them, emailing us, texting us. I know that, you might be going through a lot of emotions right now with everything that's going on, but we're here to help you and help you continue with, taking those next steps for attending Simpson in the fall. So we're here to help in any way we can and make this process as smooth and easy to understand as possible.
Well, and I want to say also that, one of the things that you will find definitely at Simpson is someplace that is very supportive and offers a very high quality experience. So this shift to online, we needed the extra time, but honestly, we are well beyond where a lot of our colleagues are at other institutions. We're doing a fantastic job. These are going to be great courses. And so in the fall, we're already talking about how we're going to celebrate during that welcome week, everybody being back on campus together because we miss that. It's nice to see people's faces in Zoom. It's not the same thing, but we're looking forward to welcoming you on campus in the fall and making sure that that's a positive experience for you as well.
Okay, we have another. So Tracy, when someone pays their deposit, they should get information about SC Connect within a few days, correct?
Correct. So my understanding is that accounts are built a couple of days a week, I think on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So once you pay your deposit, your account will be built. And then what happens is we have to build you into a student side and all of those things. So you should get information within that week. Sometimes you'll get it the same day. It just depends on what day you actually pay your deposit. But you'll definitely get it within 24 to 48 hours.
Great. Any other last questions before we end for the night? Going once, going twice.
Don't be afraid to go ahead and send those questions to your admissions counselor. They are a wealth of information and great supports. And, they're going to be with you throughout this entire summer, in addition to your advisor when you meet them at SOAR. This is kind of part of that process. So we've got a pretty good team going on. So, as things come up, if things, you have questions, you have concerns, please reach out.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining tonight. We really appreciate it and hope you enjoyed this format and found it very helpful and useful. And again, let us know if you have any questions at all, but we will stay connected with the next virtual visits that we'll be having in April. So stay tuned. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Bye. Stay safe.